Imagine two fathers, same city, same team, same arena. The first one watched his team win in 1973. He was 25 years old. Nixon was president. The Vietnam War was still raging. New York City was literally on the verge of collapse. He celebrated in the streets, dirty, dangerous streets, not knowing it would be the last time in his lifetime he would see this moment. Last night, his son, now 53 years old himself, watched the New York Knicks win the NBA championship again. And somewhere in New York City tonight, those two men are hugging each other and crying. Because some things are worth waiting 53 years for. This is not just a basketball story. This is the story of a city, then and now. Stay with me. To understand what last night meant, you need to understand what New York City actually was in 1973. Because it was nothing like the gleaming, billion-dollar city you see today. In 1973, New York was known by one nickname, Fear City. And it earned that name. The homicide rate had more than doubled in just 10 years. Murders went from 681 a year in the late 1960s to over 1,600 by the mid-70s. Rapes and burglaries had tripled. Car thefts and felony assaults had doubled. The subway, the lifeline of New York, was covered in graffiti, plagued by crime, and so dangerous that the New York Police Department actually handed out pamphlets to tourists telling them, and these are real instructions, stay off the streets after 6 p.m. Do not walk. Avoid public transportation. The city was so broke it was on the verge of bankruptcy. President Ford refused to bail it out. The famous New York Daily News headline the next day read, "Ford to City, Drop Dead." More than 820,000 middle-class families had fled to the suburbs. Entire neighborhoods were abandoned. Landlords were burning their own buildings down to collect insurance money. And in the middle of all of this, on May 10, 1973, the New York Knicks won the NBA championship. Led by Walt Frazier and Willis Reed. And New York City, broken, bankrupt, and burning, celebrated like there was no tomorrow. Now let's look at New York City in 2026. Because the transformation is genuinely one of the most remarkable stories in the history of any city on earth. The same city that was called Fear City, the city that the president told to drop dead, is now ranked the single wealthiest city on the entire planet. New York City in 2026 is home to 384,500 millionaires, 66 billionaires, and a total private wealth that exceeds $3 trillion, more than the entire GDP of most G20 countries. The population, which was shrinking and fleeing in 1973, has grown to over 10 million people. Times Square, which in 1973 was a dangerous hub of crime and prostitution, is now one of the most visited tourist destinations on Earth, welcoming 50 million visitors a year. The subway token in 1973 cost 35 cents. Today, a single ride costs $2.90. The average NBA salary in 1973 was $90,000 a year. Jalen Brunson, the man who scored 45 points in last night's championship game, earns $156 million over 4 years. A courtside seat at Madison Square Garden in 1973 cost $5. Today, for a finals game, that same seat costs $50,000. And the Twin Towers, which were being completed in 1973 as the tallest buildings in the world, are gone. Replaced by One World Trade Center, a monument to loss, resilience, and the city's refusal to be broken. So how did this Knicks team finally end the 53-year drought? Because it wasn't easy. It wasn't clean. And nobody, absolutely nobody, expected it to happen this way. Down 29 points in Game 4. Written off by every analyst. Playing in San Antonio, enemy territory. And they came back. Not once, not twice. But in all 4 of their victories, the Knicks erased double-digit deficits. Every single win was a comeback. Every single game was within 5 points in the final 5 minutes. This was the most dramatic final series in 30 years of recorded play-by-play data. And at the center of all of it, Jalen Brunson. A kid from New Jersey who wasn't supposed to be a superstar, who signed with the Knicks when nobody believed in them, who stayed when he could have left for bigger contracts and bigger markets. 45 points in Game 5, NBA Finals MVP. And when owner James Dolan grabbed the championship trophy, before it was even handed to him, he held it up and screamed something into the crowd that every Knicks fan needed to hear. He said, "Hey, New York, I'm sorry it took so long, but here we are." Now, as you watch this video, New York City is celebrating in a way it hasn't celebrated since 1973. Times Square is packed. Madison Square Garden is still lit up. Fans are climbing on buses, on lampposts, on anything they can find. The city has announced a ticker tape parade and City Hall ceremony today, June 14th. The Canyon of Heroes, the famous stretch of Broadway where New York celebrates its champions, will be filled with millions of people today. The last time the Knicks won, that Canyon of Heroes parade went through a city that was crumbling. Today it goes through the wealthiest, most powerful city on earth. Same streets, same team, same trophy, different world. And that contrast between what New York was in 1973 and what it is in 2026 makes this championship mean something far beyond basketball. 1973, Regat City. Bankrupt. Burning. The president told New York to drop dead, and the Knicks won anyway. 2026, the wealthiest city on earth. 10 million people. The Knicks win again. 53 years apart. Same city, same heart, same never say die spirit. If this story gave you chills, you are exactly who 24-hour Drop News is made for. Subscribe right now and turn on notifications, because every single day we bring you stories like this one. Stories that make you feel something. Tomorrow we are back with the next big drop. See you then.